We've offered a select committee, so a committee, an all-party committee. I've said that I will appear before the committee. So I have offered to be as open as I possibly can to make sure that all the information that is available to the opposition and to the public. So I think that, you know, having done that, my hope is that we'll be able to get beyond that particular procedural wrangle and actually get on to talking about the issues that really are the work of the people of the province.
Well, that would certainly be convenient. Ontario Premier Kathleen Wynne hopes may be in vain, though. Even before the throne speech yesterday, the Tories announced they will be reviving a motion of contempt against the Liberals over that gas plant cancellation. So joining us now is a man going forward with that very motion, MPP for Prince Edward Hastings, Todd Smith. Good to have you in with us this morning.
Great to be here.
There's nothing she would like to do more than get back to work and put this whole little cancellation of the gas power plants aside. That's not going to happen if you have anything to say about it.
We're not going to allow them to do that. The entire reason that we had the prorogation for 127 days, tacking another $4 billion onto the province's already enormous debt, was so that Premier McGuinty and I guess Kathleen Wynne and the rest of the Liberal cabinet could sweep this under the table, sweep this under the carpet, let this go away. We're not going to allow them to do that. This is a very serious matter. Up to $1.3 billion in taxpayers' money has been wasted on cancelling gas-powered plants, and the reason that they cancelled those plants was basically to buy an election with the taxpayers' own money.
Right, and so a lot of people take the devil's advocate approach. You're just trying to keep this in the headlines. You got a bone to pick. Why can't we just move on? And you say to them?
Well, I mean, we've heard from people right across the province. They're very concerned about this. There have been scandal after scandal after scandal with the McGuinty-Wynne government. You can start with eHealth.
Yep.
You can go to the Orange scandal, and we still have to get to the bottom of that. It's cost us who knows how much money. We've only scratched the surface on that. And this one obviously is an enormous one at potentially over $1 billion. So people don't want this to go away. They understand that's the reason why Dalton McGuinty tucked his tail between his legs and took off out the back door of the legislature on October the 15th. So we just can't let this go away. And these actions are very important in that there are two different items here up for discussion. There's the cancellation of the gas plants.
Yes.
Potentially over $1 billion. And then my colleague, Dr. Leone, who's the MPP from Cambridge, brought forward an original contempt motion, and that was because the government didn't turn over documents related to the cancellation. That's one of the most important things in the legislature, is that the committees are able to do their work and get the documents that they need to get to the bottom of scandals like this.
And do you believe that this might come back to haunt Premier Wynne because she was in McGuinty's inner circle? She very well spoke up and said, we've given you all the information. You have all the information, only 2 weeks later to find out, in fact, a lot of information was missing because 20,000 pages showed up.
Yes, that's right, and that's the point of privilege that I'm going to be rising on this morning. The CEO, Colin Anderson from the Ontario Power Authority, informed the government way back on September 27th that they hadn't turned over all the documents related to the power plants, yet minister after minister after minister stood up in the House, scorned the opposition for making trouble for them because they had turned over all of the documents when clearly they knew that they hadn't turned over all of the documents. Two of the members of the government side actually stood and apologized for that. One was the now resigned Energy Minister, Chris Bentley.
Yeah.
The other is the current and House Leader, John Malloy. But there are many other new members of the Wynne cabinet who stood knowing, or potentially knowing, that they hadn't turned over all the documents. So
theoretically, we could then, because former Premier Dalton McGuinty would have been protected by his position to testify, if this contempt motion goes forward, we could very well have to hear from him.
That's
himself.
right. Yeah, we could hear from Chris Bentley, we could hear from Dalton McGuinty, we could hear from the Liberal campaign team, and that's what we want to get to the bottom of. And as you mentioned earlier, Kathleen Wynne is not out of the limelight here either, or out of the spotlight either. She was a key member of the campaign team. She claims that she knew nothing about this, yet she was the co-chair of the Liberal campaign in the October election. So if she didn't know about it, she learned about it during the campaign when they made this decision, and if if she didn't ask questions about a potential billion-dollar scandal, it says a lot about her ability to lead the province of Ontario when we're facing the worst debt and jobs crisis in a lifetime.
So let's then shift to the throne speech, which we heard yesterday, and a member of Parliament that we spoke to yesterday here said, you know, we need to hear a fundamental shift from this premier to even prop up this government. And we did see a shift to the left.
Yeah.
And so Andrea Horwath has stood up and said she'll support this budget. Your party clearly won't.
Yeah, well, we'll see if she supports the budget or not, but she's going to support the throne speech. We'll see if there's enough in the budget for the NDP to prop up this scandal-plagued government or not. We're not going to do that.
And are you getting support on the contempt motions and the issues around the scandals from Horwath?
Yes, actually, the NDP are with us. They want to get to the bottom of the power plant scandals as well. So for the time being anyway, they're with us on that. They would like to get that to committee and study it further. We don't plan on holding up the business of the province. We want to just get this to committee and then try and get to the bottom of these scandals there. But as far as the throne speech is concerned, as you mentioned, there was nothing in there. They dabbled at a few of our concerns, but there was no fundamental change, as you say, taking the province in the direction where we need to go and getting our finances in order. Clearly, you've had lots of commentators on this program, I'm sure, talking about the financial situation that Ontario is in, and we're in dire circumstances right now.
Well, I think one party, a group that would be happy would be the unions, because they had prime seating at the speech yesterday, and they seem to see a shift in the premier as well. And we're talking education unions, because they want more money, and she has said that they won't spend more money, but there seems to be some kind of language going on that's making the unions happy.
Yeah, everything was very vague yesterday, and if you talk to either of the opposition leaders, Tim Hudak, of course, with our Progressive Conservative Party, or Andrea Horwath, vague was the word that came out time and time again. I'm not sure how the teachers' federations are reacting to this, but it's kind of scary to think that we may be going back to the Dalton McGuinty era that saw huge pay increases. We obviously don't have the money in Ontario for those kinds of things right now, and that's what the teachers' unions want.
They do indeed. Well, we'll continue watching. You're bringing the contempt issue up again today. What are we looking at as far as a timeline?
Well, 9 o'clock this morning, Dr. Leone will be rising on his point of privilege. I will be right after that.
And how long does this take to get going if, in fact, they move forward with it?
Well, it depends on the Speaker. So the Speaker of the House will make a ruling. Hopefully he rules rather quickly, because none of this is new to him. These were both presented to him in the last session. So we'll see.
We will indeed see. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
We've been joined by Ontario MPP for Prince Edward Hastings, Todd Smith.